Okay, since we're live, hello, welcome. Happy Friday. It is Friday. So, TGIF, the Storyteller's Hearth Weekend Relay starts at 4, I want to say is the first sprint. You can check the spreadsheet for the links. Let's see. Do I have everything up? I think I have everything up. So, hello. How are we? Happy Friday. I am I spent a good bit of time yesterday, like a lot of time, doing the grid spacing guides and the swatches for the markers that I typically use in all of the new journals. So forgive me for a moment. Let's see if I can get, yeah, okay. So here's one of the A5s from Tifosi that I got. Still haven't decided like which ones I'm going to use for what. So I just went ahead and I did the grid spacing guide in the back for all of the new journals. And then I did the Tombow swatches for the Tombos that I own currently, as well as sort of like my plan is to get a couple of the missing ones that are sort of like in between those big gaps to fill in my colorways. But then I also have the like Walmart King's Art brand. And I don't know if you can tell, but so I did one swipe and then at the end I did two. So that way I can see what the color looks like with multiple layers. Because typically when I do like my shadow boxes, I do typically mess up. So I usually go with like 2 layers of color instead of just one. So in fact, I think I've got an example of that. Oopsies. Drop that one. In this one, this is another Tifosi. This is the B5. I don't know what to call it. Green foliage B5. Yeah, so like the separation drop shadow is twice with the N60 because I always mess up and like leave a gap, so I have to go over it. So anyway, so I spent yesterday doing this multiple times over because I've not actually used the Tifosi notebooks before. I've purchased quite a few for this coming year, but I have not actually used them. So I wanted to make sure how the excuse me, how the markers do on the paper. So I do have I do have a square Tifosi. So I'm pretty sure this is Tifosi. At some point, both Archer and Olive and Tifosi have very similar designs. So there are times where I'm like, which one is this? Which is why I write in the back which one it is. But yes, so I have the blue vintage. I think this one's a vintage something. But it's very pretty, gold gilded on the edges as well. So again, I did the grid guide and I did the color swatch. So I spent a lot of my time going like just doing color swatches yesterday. So that was, I mean, it's sort of meditative after a while, but I did mess up a couple. So like on one of them, I had to switch the purples because I thought I was swatching 553. No, sorry. Yeah, 553, but I was swatching 565. I was like, oh wait, this is not the right color. Oh no. So then I had to like do the whiteout and everything. So I have quite a few Tifosies, and I have several Archer Olives. All told, I have 8 to pick from. So I may need some help from y'all deciding like which ones to do for my regular and which ones to do for my like reading journal versus, you know, so we may have a poll relating to that. I'm very tempted to use the square one as like a sketchbook because I have been wanting to do more more like art. Again, that's one of my, you know, rollover goals because I never actually seem to get around to it much. But yeah. So for whatever reason, most of the sort of like gilding that I got was gold. I really debated on specifically the Solinara notebook from Tifosi because this one comes in like a navy and silver as well that is freaking gorgeous. So this one I may place another order for one of the other colors. But again, it's so stinking pretty. It's like, how do you say no to that? And it's so flashy in real life. It doesn't come across on camera as well as it does. The see if I can catch it. It's not as good as in real life, but yeah, it does have that sort of hollow. I don't know if I can catch it, but it's got hollow gold. At first glance, it looks like gold, and then when you shift it, it looks like the iridescent hollow type stuff. It's very pretty. And the spine is also gorgeous. So all the pretty things. But you know, even the plain notebooks are fun because I get to decorate them with stickers. So, you know, I'm not opposed to either one. You know. So okay. In regards to the poll for today, this is where like I wish there was a well, maybe we I mean there is a way, I'm sure, to have, and maybe we'll figure this out. But I was limited to 4 choices again for the poll. So apologies if your cult favorite is not on the poll. Again, I had very limited very limited choices to pick from. So I picked Beetlejuice, Hocus Pocus, The Craft, and Practical Magic. I did not choose like, you know, I could have chosen Nightmare on Elm Street, Nightmare Before Christmas, but then people would argue with me because that's a Christmas movie. And things like It and Scream, although I don't think Scream is technically Halloween, is it? So like there's a bunch of different. Oh, Monique goes, there's also the Scream movies. Yeah, okay. So yes. Scream is Halloween. Okay. So like I could have done any and all of those, but again, very limited to poll options. So for the moment, Beetlejuice, Hocus Pocus, Craft, and Practical Magic. Those are the options for the poll. So let's do this. Here's where Monique says, hey y'all. You've changed your name. Instead of Miss Ocampo Writes, you're going with a Monique Ocampo. I like it. Is this a permanent thing or just a temporary thing? Trying it out. Your plan for this sprint: outline 5 chapters. Nice. Then work on your November spreads and your Bujo because you'll be busy tonight with D&D. Nice. Yeah, that is the other thing. Like by the time I got done swatching and doing all of the colors and stuff, I did not want to go into my current bullet journal and set up November. So, yeah. The Tifosi Square journals are on your wish list. You want to try a square bujo next year that will act as your planner. Nice. I know several, I know that Jessie Corinne used a square one, I want to say last year, maybe? Was it last year? I'm trying to remember, but the years are running together, to be honest. Let's see. Your character Rod is probably a Beetlejuice kind of guy. The story, which may or may not get finished this year, is a spicy, gay, modern, gothic, dark romance thingy. Nice. What about Rocky Horror Picture Show? Did I say the title of that right? Does that count as a Halloween movie? I feel like that's kind of an all year. That's the problem, is that, like, if you like these movies, they're kind of like a anytime in the year movie. You haven't been around all week because you're immersed in not one but 2 writing summits. Ooh, fun. Your brain is toast and your body is stiff. Oh no. So you may have to do some stretches today and this weekend. The swear one is so pretty. Yes. Very Bridgerton coded. It is. Yeah. Yeah, it is. I would agree with that. Monique chose Hocus Pocus for Susie because you didn't watch any of the other ones on the poll. Nice. You got your 2026 Bujo from Michaels. Yeah. Yeah. And I've bought journals from Michaels before as well. I think my very first one may have been from Michaels. I think it was one of their $5 deal things. So fair enough. Fair enough. You put stickers all over the cover. Yep. That's the way to do it. Decorate it to your heart's content. Your nose thinks it's a faucet. Yeah. You forgot to take Zyrtec with your meds last night. Oh no, and don't want to get off schedule with it. Yeah. So you're just going to suffer until it's time to take it again, but not in silence. Yeah, and that's what with the shifting of the weather. Like my mom's nose has been running. I woke up this morning with sort of like one nostril not quite all the way open, and drainage and all that kind of stuff. So yeah. I have ordered, just to be safe, I've ordered some of the rapid testers from Amazon, so those should show up tomorrow. So just be safe. But yeah, I don't think it's that. I think it's just because we've had both vaccines for flu and for COVID. But I think it's just the change in the weather, the barometric pressure, the difference in the, we turn the heater on, so that dries out, and then your body wants to overcompensate, all that kind of stuff. So, Scream movies, yes. Monique says maybe given the poll options, go with genre, but it's like, okay, so so how would you horror, thriller, psychological, feel good, comedic? I don't know. There's still a whole bunch of because there's horror Halloween movies and more family friendly ones. Yeah. I thought about Casper too, putting that on the list, but I didn't, obviously. So Monique Ocampo is your YouTube handle. Might need to change that. So if you didn't switch, I wonder why YouTube did that. I don't know. Hello, Stacy. How are you? Usually use these sprints for journaling and creating your recovery memoir / workbooks. Nice. You have a love-hate relationship with the summits, the writing summits. You end up hyper-focusing and hating yourself for not getting anything done. However, you get a lot of information from them. Yeah, so I would say just consider that, like going to a conference, and like the conference is your to-do list. Don't beat yourself up with that. you're a side sleeper. Between your allergies and your CPAP, you often end up with one nostril closed sensation. You hate the CPAP. Your inner critic tells you you're a loser for needing it. You're not, because, you know, breathing is good. Getting sleep is good. So the fact that we have, you know, while not comfortable, but we have medical devices that can help you with that is great. So YouTube has done that, changing your handle. You had changed your handle back to the terrible old one. Oh, yeah. YouTube does some things occasionally. So mine is still the Dawdling Writer, which is good. So I don't have to change anything back. Fantastic. Okay. We need the doggos for the day, right? We need Thursday's doggo and we need Friday's doggo. Oh my gosh. The weekend doggo is cute. But you'll have to wait till Monday for that. Okay, and pulled the card for the day. Oh, it's apparently the one right after yesterday's. Okay, so Thursday's doggo. His name is Boshi. He agreed to take a bath under the condition that peanut butter is provided until he is dry. It was his lawyer's idea, but it still took guts to negotiate it. So here is Boshi, still wet and still getting peanut butter. Look at him. He's so cute. So very cute. And then for today, we have Parker. He's hoping passersby notice his new boots. He took a risk with getting thigh highs, but to be fair, every shoe is thigh high for Parker. 13 out of 10 would compliment Parker on his new boots. They are very cute. Look at his little boots. Very, very cute. So those are the doggos for the day. And then we have the spirit animal deck, which says that we have the cat spirit today. Claim your independence. So it was in focus for like, 1/4 of a second. When your cat spirit meows, she is calling you to claim your independence and allow for some space between you and others in your life. The only way you can grow in all your relationships is to have a healthy sense of self-respect and self-worth. When you walk with dignity, knowing who you are, self-aware and willing to grow, trusting the value that you bring, the world will mirror all this back to you. When you say no to codependency and enmeshment, live and let live, and practice taking risks as you wander into new territory for yourself, the cat rejoices. She is here to urge you to let your independent spirit roam free. There you go. There is our cat spirit. Monique says, "Yay, kitty!" And you pulled the 3 of Pentacles from your Buffy Tarot deck. 3s. Okay. Let's pull up my... Three of Pentacles. Okay. It's so trios, card of past, present, future, maiden, mother, crone, father, son, ghost, etc. So the trio thing. It's a card of artistry, specifically an artist following the guidance of elders who are imparting their wisdom. So young in your pursuit of your art, but also in pursuit of the money exchange from your art. Skill, creativity, talent, that kind of thing. So it's a good card for a writer. A very good card for a writer. any creative person, really. T. Marie Alexander, hello, welcome, welcome, welcome. Might be picking up on your vibe from last night or how you're planning to film a reel asking people to review your book on Goodreads and Amazon. Yes. Last night you were listening to Agatha all along. Excellent. Fun, fun. Okay, so my plan for the day is going to be a combo of hand editing and digital. So I finished most of the editing passes that quick editing pass that I was doing over the last couple of streams. I finished most of that, so now I need to sort of go back through my list and sort of encapsulate things like patterns, trends that I'm noticing, and sort of solidify that in my brain before we go back into the digital. That way I have a better idea of what it is I need to be overall aware of. So that's the plan. Drew the Page of Wands. Wands is the fiery passion. The page is sort of that could be a student-esque, could be like still learning opportunity, but specifically the Page of Wands always has sort of like a little bit of a reckless energy, if I'm remembering correctly. Let's see. Or at least that's how I based a character off of the Page of Wands, but I can't remember if that was inverted or not. I think it might have been inverted. Page of Wands. Youthful personality, fiery spirited, creative, outspoken, messenger with the news of your career, fireball human, yeah. Fire in human form as pages embody their element, daring and courageous, impulsive, filled with energy, ambition, and drive, quick to fall in love or lash out in anger, warm and passionate or raging. So it's sort of like the extremes of emotion, I would say. So yeah. Okay. Oops, didn't mean to close that. Get it back open. There we go. Okay. Let's start with Hedgehog. We haven't started with Hedgehog in a couple days. I feel like I'm really slouching already. Like it's not. Okay, so we'll stretch in a second. Okay, so 1, save your document if you've already been working. If not, again, now's a great time to pull up whatever you think you're going to be working on. 2 is make sure that you have something to hydrate with and go ahead and take a sip. Cheers. 3, straighten your spine, roll your shoulders back for that posture check. Make sure you're not slouching too much. And 4 is make sure if you need a break, take a break. Here we go. 30 minutes in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. Okay. How'd we do? I'm still sort of navigating and putting together the trends that I'm seeing. But yeah, not a bad start. Not a bad start. How did you do? Let's see. Monique had a question about needing a potential title for the Phantom of the Opera adaptation that you're doing. Maybe something in the style of 2010s literary YouTube adaptations. Things like the Lizzie Bennet Diaries, the autobiography of Jane Eyre, Carmilla, New Adventures of Peter and Wendy, From Mansfield with Love, maybe Notes from Christine. I suggested there's also things like the Dracula examples, Dracula Untold, Dracula Love Story or Love Tale, Phantom, The College Years. And then I can't remember, like, is it just you get notes from the director of like things that you need to correct? I don't know. Phantom and stage notes. In the universe you're creating, Christine Day goes to a boarding school for the performing arts. So Phantom of the Performing Arts Academy. What age are you writing this for again? What's your target age range? Because this feels more like this title, Phantom of the Performing Arts Academy, it feels more chapter book title. Chapter to like young teen. Because I'm pretty sure what's the Goosebump Phantom of the Opera? Phantom of the Auditorium. So that feels very Goosebump coded. This is supposed to be a YouTube series. Oh, okay. Okay. So the play that they're putting on is Phantom, but they're doing it in YouTube style. Okay. I might go with Phantom stage notes. Yeah. So, and to me, this title could be like they're doing the adaptation, but they're also talking about the traditional, like history of different adaptations, hauntings, that kind of like talking about the superstitions that go around with Macbeth, and then like debunking them, how things work, that kind of stuff. So yeah, I don't know. Does anybody else have other suggestions? How are we doing? I've got maybe 1, 2, 3. Yeah, I feel like I've got about 3 more sections that I need to. So maybe with one more sprint, I'll be able to switch over to the digital. Maybe. So, okay, let's swap to a different timer. Let's do the red panda. Nope, it's not the first running sprint, it's the second. Don't forget that second sprint is the self promo. So if you have something you want to promote, now's the chance to do so. Also, if you have not yet voted in the poll, let us know where your option lies, or give us a title in the chat. So, okay. 1, save your document. 2, make sure you have something to hydrate with. Cheers. 3, straighten your spine or roll your shoulders back for that posture check. Make sure not slouching too much. And 4 is going to be if you need a break, take a break. Here we go. 30 minutes in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. Okay. That sprint. I think I just barely managed to finish categorizing and analyzing the trends of things that I'm going to need to fix. So I have essentially a week. Yeah, essentially a week to go back through and do fixes for this if I want to get it done by the end of the month. So I think I'm on track for this. Yeah, I think I am on track. Let's see. Let's see. Okay, so, oops. How do I make this not the size of teeny tiny? Ah. Okay. Okay, so for self-promo, Kara says, I have a 2-for-1 sale on my literary services this month, so check out these 2 links for Ornery Literary Services and Ornery Alpha and Beta. Monique's self-promo, if you guys have read My Ex is a Vampire, please write and leave a review on Amazon and Goodreads. Kara has an addendum edition. Mention this particular stream and get another 50% off quoted prices. Here's the Goodreads link, and here is the Amazon link for Monique's book. And you outline up to chapter 15. You'll probably add more details as you go. Now you're going to get to planning. You accidentally started the weekly stuff right after your November art spread, but you'll be making it work. Also, you can check out Monique's Bujo art for November on the Instagram. So let's see if I can share this. There it is. Very cute. Very cute. I like it. And then you can check out all of Monique's mood boards, Pinterest boards, that kind of stuff, and the book show, book fair, book festival, whatever the name of the thing. Yeah, it's like my brain is not working. I'm sorry. Thanks for liking and sharing your Instagram. You're welcome. You're going to be posting a reel later today. Excellent. Good. I have not posted in quite some time, so you're doing way better than me. Okay. So we need some more work to be done, but this time I'm shifting over into the digital document. So yeah, so that'll be nice. So I've got plenty of words already written, handwritten today. So I'm not worried about that. And then I will get to the digital stuff as well today, which is nice. It's nice. It'll give my hand a different kind of a workout instead of just a hand cramp from writing. All right. We did the red panda. Let's do the otter. Coffee Crate Connect. Hello, you're having a challenging day. Oh no. So you got into the tub and you're taking, like me, written notes from your sequel to your upcoming debut novel. Nice. So hopefully you're having a relaxing soak in the tub. But yeah. Honestly, I haven't done handwriting stuff for your ages and for your book in ages, and it feels good to actually get back to the old-fashioned. Your brain definitely works differently when you're handwriting, for sure. Yes, different parts of the brain are exercised. I think they did an experiment, like when they had somebody in brain surgery. So this is like how weird science is. Like, they know, like if they have had people play the guitar or play an instrument while undergoing brain surgery, so they know which part of the brain some of that falls under. And then they did the same thing with writing, but yeah, so it's a different portion of the brain that gets turned on when you were typing, or I mean, when you were writing by hand versus when you were typing. Like more of your brain turns on, apparently, somehow. I don't know. Kara says, I spent a chunk of that last sprint talking to the mechanic. Your son's dad's car will be there till next week because they have to wait on a delivery of a part. Yeah, from out of state. Yours goes in next month. Gotcha. Yeah. Yeah. You absolutely love typing. You have since you were a kid with one of those little fake computers, but there is something about handwriting that brings a different type of flow. Yes. Plus, we need an excuse to use all the fancy fun pens, right? Monique says, ooh, looking at my November stuff, I think I'm off to a good start. Excellent. Good. I am glad. All right, let's do this. 1, save your document. 2, make sure that you have something to hydrate with. Cheers. 3, straighten your spine, roll your shoulders back for that posture check. Make sure not slouching too much. And 4 is, if you need a break, take a break. Here we go, 30 minutes in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. Okay, I managed to get 320 words in the document. So not bad. And that's in addition to what I've handwritten already today. So that's great. I will 100% take it. Okay. Let me get back up the. If you haven't already voted in the poll, please do so. Nope, not that one. This one. Okay. Okay. Oh, right. So I was sending out a reminder that if anybody else is a fan of Florence and the Machine, they are going to be starting the new album tour next year, sort of like April through May here in North America. And so the tickets for that go on sale starting on the 3rd of November. But that's like the VIP, like super VIP American Express, like something, like if you have perks, essentially, you get to pick your seats prior to the general public, or you can purchase your tickets prior to the general public. The general public's tickets go on sale on the 5th of November at 10 a.m. Eastern. So if you are a fan, check and see if they're coming to your city, and if so, what date, and then I have no idea how much the tickets are going to cost at this point. But I think I would like to see her. And she's coming to Atlanta on May 1st. So I'm like, can I swing this? So yeah. Coffee Crate Connect says, I've seen Florence and the Machine in concert, and you would absolutely recommend it. Yes, same. So much energy. You can tell they actually care about their fans, unlike some other people that you have seen. Yes. I saw them, I think it was the Lungs tour. It was either the Lungs or the Ceremonial tour, but I'm pretty sure it was the Lungs. So it's been a while. But it was at the Fox Theater in Atlanta. Same theater that I saw Phantom of the Opera at. So, but this time it's going to be in the State Farm Arena, which is much bigger. So, much bigger. Monique says, I'm going to go make lunch now. Excellent. One of the times I turned off my camera, I went and ran to the kitchen because I forgot to pull out the mixed veggies bag from the freezer. We had already prepped for like doing a chicken pot pie. So I just pulled that down to the fridge to thaw. So maybe tomorrow we can have chicken pot pie, which would be delicious. Absolutely delicious. All right, let's end the poll. So of the 4 options available, Beetlejuice has 50% of our main characters, 33% Hocus Pocus, 17% The Craft, and none of our main characters are choosing practical magic. So, Mondays. Yes. Monday's question is, what is your main character's favorite Halloween candy? So, be thinking about that. We are getting closer to Halloween. I'm hoping we have at least a couple of trick-or-treaters this year. Just a few. It'd be nice. Anyway, so let's go ahead and save our documents. Save. And then I will hopefully see y'all soon. Don't forget the Storyteller's Hearth weekend relay marathon is going to be going on. First stream, I think, starts at 4. I think the welcome is happening either now or in like 15 minutes. So don't forget that. All right. I will see y'all soon. Don't forget to save and hydrate. Bye.